ask you one last question, and then we'll let you get back to your awesome life there in Singapore. It's a beautiful day. It looks like I saw you out with your bike. Now, Bitcoin. I heard you say before, because of course you're an expert investor of the, I mean, like the best in the world, in my opinion. Bitcoin. You kind of said, it looks bubblish. When you see the kind of price action in Bitcoin, now you're having ICOs, at least one a week, and it looks kind of bubblish. Now it did just go over 4,000. I guess it's the highest ever. And what I really wonder, maybe somewhat of a unique angle on this question for you, Jim. When you think about gold, because I know, of course, the idea is that you're talking about the biggest crisis of our lifetime coming economically. Generally, people buy gold. I think you've said that you're going to wait maybe until the crash and buy gold. But Bitcoin is interesting because it's decentralized. We talked a lot about governments. They're trying to, control everything. Is Bitcoin a good alternative long-term to gold? I mean, is it something else? I know in China it's big as well. Is that right?
Well, Nicholas, don't listen to me. I don't own any Bitcoins. Bitcoin in the last 8 years has gone from nothing to $4,400 a Bitcoin or whatever it is. So don't ask me. I completely missed it. I do own gold. I might plan, if it works this way, as if gold goes down again, to buy a lot of gold, because before this is over, whenever people have lose faith in money or in governments, they've turned to gold and silver. Now maybe they're going to turn to Bitcoin this time. I don't know. But back to the bubblish situation.
Sure.
If I just gave you a chart of Bitcoin and showed you how it's racing up, hundreds of dollars every few weeks or every few months, and I showed you what you said, oh yeah, and there are hundreds more, another 2,000 have come out in the last year or two. If I just described that situation, whether we were talking about commodities or stock, whatever we were talking about, history would say that's a problem. That's a problem in formation. Now, I am not the one to talk about Bitcoin because I never bought a single one, to my embarrassment, but I can look at the facts, and if you go back to every bubble in history and you describe those facts, you would be describing previous bubbles. Now, that doesn't mean that there are not going to be great opportunities in Bitcoin. Many markets have had bubbles and collapsed. Railroads. Well, we still have railroads. Were a gigantic bubble 150 years ago. But we still have railroads. A lot of people made a lot. Computers, electricity, radio, television. We've had huge bubbles in a lot of things. People still have telephones. They still have computers. So if you buy in the bubble, you often lose money, but if you buy at the right time, even if it's in a bubble for a while, you come out on top. And I hope that I can get gold or Bitcoin or whatever it is right.
And do you think that these government, the decentralized part is good for the world in the fact that, maybe the banks have gotten out of control? I mean, is this a good alternative, or could the banks and the governments just wipe out Bitcoin as well?
You know as well as I do that if the governments make it illegal to use Bitcoin, and governments don't like losing control, it's going to be complicated for people to use Bitcoin. You know as well as I do that the governments can close down computers, and without computers there is no Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. If you think that the governments aren't going to keep things for themselves, then please go back and read some more history, because the governments are in for themselves first. They say they're in it for the people, but they're in it for themselves. And if Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies take a life of their own, the governments cannot control, and that's the plan, of course. That's the great attraction. There's no politician in the history of the world that's going to sit around and say, that's a good thing. Take control away from us. You have a decentralized, independent system. They have always, and I hope that Bitcoin or somebody can come up a way to take control away from governments, but they can control they can control the computers. They can control the internet. Ultimately, they can make it illegal to do things like that. Now, of course, there'll be black markets. There always have. Governments have always made many things illegal. and there have been black markets, and people have found ways around them. I hope this is going to be the one that finally breaks governments. It would be wonderful if we could find some way to, what you and I were talking about several minutes ago. Figure out a way to break the governments, and we'll all be better off.
Well, I think that the whole thing with them thinking that, I just think the control's an illusion. I think there's more. You know, you look at near-death experience studies with thousands of studies, thousands of people going through some mainstream scientific studies. There's more than just this life going on. You know, people have different ideas. If we could get the emphasis on control off and away from the governments, and that, you know, maybe money is used to trade, but there's free energy. And so you actually just use it to trade, and you can print almost anything you need with free energy. Who knows? Maybe there's not a big incentive to control, because I do think people want to be free, like you said, Jim. So people want to be free, and maybe Bitcoin's just a step towards that, but I think people want to be free. That's when they're the happiest, right?
Okay, Nicholas, your assignment now is to figure out a way to take control away from the government. You go home and you have a week. You have a month.
Well,
you have the rest of the year. You have the rest of the year to figure it out. Okay, we're all waiting.
Well, we will. We'll contact you again. We're going to have an event. Maybe it's going to be called the International Love Congress. We're going to try to get the heads of religions, heads of government. Who knows who's going to show up? And if this thing's got to happen, we're still human. Well, that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Rogers, he's a legend. There's so much great insight we learned. You know, we're trying to do something. We wanna invite everybody in, no matter what you think. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, everybody. People that don't care about any of this. People that like cat videos. People that don't, you know, whatever you think. We love you. We love you. Wake up. We love you. Wake up. We love you. Let's find some harmony, but let's talk about the tough issues. There are some really, really tough issues that Jim and I discussed. And it was an honor to have somebody who's really, in my opinion, one of the smartest men in the world, especially when it comes to money and business, join us for this episode of Believe. So just share the links. That's all we ask you to do. If you'd like, you know, join our community. Comment on the videos. We're just starting out. Our website is www.believe.love. YouTube is youtube.com/Believe Loves You. iTunes, believeitunes.com. Android, believeandroid.com. Heck, we even started an Instagram. I think it's instagram.com/Believe Loves You. Send us an email, believe@believe.love. Let us know what you thought about the interview. We have so many hosts. We're adding reporters. We're going to have live callers, and we're just trying to help the world whatever way we can and help to harmonize things and get going with some solutions and not just all this complaining that, of course, we all love to do. It's very easy to do. Thanks so much for joining us on Believe. Have a great day or night wherever you may be.